Hello, and this is how I make my cut ointment. Okay, these are the ingredients. Use the coconut oil, pure beeswax. I normally add tea tree oil, also known as melaleuca, however you pronounce the second part, but I'm out right now, so I can't put that in this time. But I'm going to continue to make the video so everybody can see how. This is lavender essential oil, pure essential oil, no fillers. This is oregano oil, also pure essential oil. This is homemade self-heal oil. I know the bottle looks nasty, but that's what I have of my self-heal oil at the moment. I forgot to make some this year. That is the self-heal plant that grows in my area that I dry, and then I heat infuse the plant material with olive oil. So the actual carrier in this is olive oil. And this is my container that I'm going to put it in when I'm all done for it to cool off. Now, whenever you're making any sort of cut ointment, you need to make sure that your area has been sterilized. You don't want to transfer any bacteria into the actual cut ointment. But in reality, the ingredients I'm using would kill whatever bacteria may be lingering in the first place. That's the whole point of making this. And because I don't own a double boiler, I put it together this way. I am very into using what you have to accomplish your desired goal. So there's water in the bottom. I got to get it going. I have to put the wax in here, and once the wax is soft, I'll add the coconut oil. The coconut oil has to be added after the beeswax has melted, because if this gets too hot, it'll burn. You don't want it hot. You want to add this when it's cooling off. And the purpose of the coconut oil is because it has antibacterial properties, and it softens the beeswax so you can spread it. The beeswax also has antibacterial, antifungal, and I think even antiviral. I'm not sure. I forget. But I know it has antibacterial and antifungal properties. Same with the lavender, same with the oregano, same with the self-heal. And all three end up helping you heal faster. Some people have said to put vitamin E into my mix so it cuts down on scarring. I haven't tried this. I'm not sure how well it would work out. So I'm going to get the wax melting, and once it's melted, I will be back. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes now, and all the wax is melted, and I will now add the coconut oil. Can't do it one-handed. I will be right back. Okay, here's what coconut oil looks like when it's cold. It gets hard. When it gets warmed up, it turns to liquid very fast. I'm going to put about a cup of the oil into the wax and mix it up. Okay, I got about a cup and a half in there, but that's fine. At this point, I shut off the burner and let the hot wax melt the coconut oil, and when that's all melted, then I will remove the bowl from the pan that has the hot water in it so it'll cool off a little faster. And I will stir in the oils that I have sitting over here once it starts to harden up. That way it doesn't hurt the oils, and get it evenly blended and stir it until it gets rather solid so it doesn't separate. I will be back. Now that I've taken it off the burner, off the pan that had the hot water in it, you see how it starts to thicken up right away? if at any point while you're doing this it gets too hard, you can put it back on the heat to soften it back up. But you can also add olive oil or more of the coconut oil to soften it up, to keep it from being too hard, because you need it to be able to be manipulated by scraping it with your finger and putting it on whatever injury you have, preferably scrapes and cuts, but not puncture wounds. You never want to put this on a puncture wound. You don't want this to get in your skin, you want it to stay on top. So it's starting to get a little too hard. I might have to put some more. The bottom of it shouldn't be this hard already, these patches. So I might need to put some more oil in it, just to be sure. 'Cause you want it to be kind of like chapstick. Soft, but still stay. So, next I'm gonna put in the oils. For me, I don't really have a specific amount of drops. I usually put enough in there until the scent is overwhelming. That means there's enough, and then I go from there. So I don't tend to use a recipe all that much. I will be back. Okay, because it was getting too hard too soon, even though it was still in contact with the hot stuff, I've decided to add 1/4 cup of olive oil to help soften it up. So now I have to stir that. Because it was colder, it made the wax get hard real quick. It'll soften back up in a minute. Oops. Just need to stir it. And for information's sake, the amount of wax I used was 1 pound's worth of beeswax. I forgot to mention that earlier. So now I have to wait for it to start to harden up again. I need it to harden up a little slower this time, just in case I need to add more oil. And then I will add the essential oils. So I will be back. Okay, the wax is cooling off and it's now starting to get hard and trying to separate a little bit. Let's see how hot it is. Using a candy thermometer or meat thermometer, I forget which. Come on. That's about at 130 right now. It's still too hot to add the delicate essential oils. I have to wait for it to cool off some more. But we got to keep mixing it, otherwise it's going to get hard. When it's ready for the oils, I will be back. Okay, as you can see, it's getting thick fast. It's still a little hot for my liking for the oils, but I'm at the point where I have to put them in whether I like it or not. So, also remember when you're all done making this, if it's too hard where you can't spread it, you can always melt it back down and add more olive oil to it. You're going to have to melt it at a lower temp and at a slower pace though. Okay, so first off we're going to dump in the self-heal. And get it to open. And there's about a tablespoon of the oil in here. And I'm going to dump it all in. I wish I had more, but I will make do with what I have. Now for the essential oil of lavender, because I don't have any tea tree oil. Right now I'm going to have to put in extra olive or lavender oil to make up for the missing. How much do I have left? Oh, looks like I'm going to use all of it. This is going to be about a teaspoon of pure lavender oil. And now for the oregano oil. And it's going to be about another teaspoon, maybe more, of the oregano oil. Now I have to mix it up really good, incorporate all of it, break all these chunks up so it's smooth and even as best I can. If it starts getting too clumpy or too hard, I will reheat it. Basically, for the rest of the process, you have to stir until it's ready to go in the jar. And as of right now, I've been working on it for about an hour. And when it's time to go in the jar, we will be back. Now that it's getting really hard really fast and starting to get like melted butter or frosting, if you will, you want to get it into the container it's going to be in before it gets hard. Otherwise it's going to be a pain in the butt. So you have your sterilized jar. Pour it in. Hopefully not making a mess. Switch. There we go. It's just going to get hard quick. That's not going to want to pour. And as you can see, it's going to be a messy. You want to scrape as much as this you can get. You don't want to waste any of it if you can help it. But it's getting hard now. For those of you who make it and find out that it's too hard, you can't spread it afterwards, you're going to have to put the jar in the bowl of water with water around it, on top of a pan with water, and slowly heat it up. You don't want to break the jar. You don't want to damage the ointment by getting it too hot too fast. And then you can add more oil to it and stir it up. But now we just get it in the jar and it's ready to go. I hope this helped. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Thank you.